When we're asked, as we sometimes are, can we prove that there's a supreme being? I always like that question because it allows me to simply say no, and then we can move on. But I have the feeling that you want more than just a simple one-word answer to that. So I'll try. I think that the answer still will remain no, but I think that some distinctions must be made. And that one is that, what do you mean by prove? There's a kind of conviction one can have with mathematical precision. You add up a column of figures and you can check them, etc., and you can prove your answer is correct. And there's another proof that comes when you fall deeply in love with someone and that love is reciprocated. The living together proves the love. The living together proves the fidelity. The living together shows you things about the other person that you know, that are proven to you, although you could never articulate them and you could never prove them to someone who didn't share that love. So I think when you're talking about a supreme being, you're talking about the latter kind of proof. You're talking about the notion that ultimately you take a position, it's not a matter of a deduction, from certain logical premises. And your position is based on your own conviction. You can put it in exact terms and call it faith, or you can put it in maybe more romantic terms and call it love. But I think it's ultimately quite the same. And that is that for those who say that there is a supreme being, somewhere behind that statement is at least an embryonic sense that they've experienced something that proves it to them. Not in an intellectual way, but in a deep way, a way that encompasses what we mean when we say something is really so. I don't know how you gain that kind of proof. I suspect that we have to go back to faith again and say that ultimately faith is a gift from God, from the Supreme Being. But I do know that it has to be nurtured. I do know that one can have a conviction about the reality of the Supreme Being increase, become firmer, and I think that that's done through reflection and prayer, and that back to that notion that contact or communion with ultimate reality is important. But just the way love is important, and it must be nurtured, so too to have it be meaningful, it's the necessity always at working at it. A good love relationship means a lifelong commitment to the effort to love more. And that isn't a chore, of course. It becomes a source of great joy. So too I think that belief in a supreme being must be worked at, but it's reciprocated like any good love relationship and becomes easier and becomes deeper and becomes more second nature, more natural.